Hello, everyone. Happy Sabbath. Can you hear me loud and clear? All right, good. All right, so it's a pleasure to be with you. It almost never happened because I was double scheduled, apparently. So I was supposed to go to Ocherius to give the sermon there, and I was also scheduled to do the message here in Kingston. And I know the brethren in Ocherius really wanted me to come down there. But yes, I had several messages and calls begging me to come down. But God had other plans. And again, we don't question God. We just work with it. So I am happy to be here. Ocherius will have to wait a little while longer. First, let me greet my friend and colleague, Catherine Espuit, at the back. Please welcome her, make her feel special. The last name is a famous last name, so her family heritage is rich. Right. She, of course, got invitation from me to just be here today, and she accepted it, and I'm grateful to have you here. So I hope you are blessed by the message, as so the rest of the congregation. I also do want to extend my appreciation to you, Pastor, as I have done about a few weeks ago. Yes, I want to publicly express my appreciation. I remember, the work that Pastor Boyne started so many years ago, you are seeing the results of it right now, right? And when he passed away, and it was announced that Pastor Ramakan would be the pastor of the congregation, I remember it like it was yesterday. The cheer, the shouts of joy, because of the stability that definitely you would have bring to the congregation. And I know that the brethren appreciated that. And you have taken the mantle and you ran with it, and you have done us so well. And we appreciate you, Pastor. So I just want to let that be known. And of course, very unfortunate, but we stand with you, Pastor, in sickness and health. So we do pray for recovery, whatever you're going through, that Yahweh will see you through. All right, so, brethren, I mean business here today, I mean business here today. Yeah, well, not that type of business. But we sang a song a while ago. I'm going to study war no more. You remember? And everybody was just happily singing it. Oh, you didn't sing it? Everybody was happily singing, I'm going to study war no more. So who is not going to study war no more? Because there's a type of war that we need to study. Right? And we have to be careful, the songs that we sing, they have implications and meanings. So when you say you're going to study war no more, the only thing I thought about was, probably that's why we're in the spiritual trouble that we're in so many times. Because we're not studying the right war. And I want to remind us, because what I'm going to preach here today is not new to you. But I want to remind all of us. As the year comes to a close, 2025 will be a thing of the past, and we're entering into 2026. And I want to remind all of us that the war is going on still. So there's a type of war that you need to study. What kind of war that is? Spiritual war. Now, if you don't mind, turn your Bibles with me to Ephesians chapter 6. Because like I said, it's not new. Deacon Stacy, I don't see you turn your Bible, It's on your phone. So you find it already? What did I say? Ephesians what? All right. Careful. Anyway, so Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against spiritual forces of evil in high places. The Apostle Paul tells us, so we are without excuse, that there's a type of war that's going on, that's raging, and we need to understand, unless it is two things, unless it is that we don't believe this. If it's a case where we don't believe it, then the things that we see in front of us on a day-to-day basis that causes us annoyance, that causes us grief, if we see them just for what they are in front of us, then we don't recognize that there's a spiritual battle that's taking place, right? So it's either we don't believe it, or we're constantly in a state of forgetting that there's a spiritual battle that's going on. So I like to believe that it's a case where we just keep forgetting. Because we know that there is a war that is going on around us that we cannot see. Follow me along. 2 Kings chapter 6. 2 Kings chapter 6. Deacon Stacy, I hope you're turning there now. I'm going to pick on you a lot. So make sure you're turning there. 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 15 to 17 says, and when the servant of the man of God arose, this is Elisha and his servant. When his servant arose and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said to him, Master, what shall we do? For we are surrounded. And so Elisha answered, do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And then he prayed. Elisha prayed for his servants, and the Lord opened his eyes so that he may see. And when the Lord opened the young man's eyes, he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. But if Elisha had not prayed for the young servant, he would not have seen. Because he does not have spiritual eyes, he's not able to see the spiritual warfare that's going on around him. And I tell you, just like this servant, we all have problems. We all have circumstances that cause us to doubt or to feel some sort of way. But if you pray that God open your eyes to see what they think, to see things for what they really are, then you truly understand and have an appreciation for what's going on. I'll give you some more examples, 2 more examples. Daniel chapter 10. Daniel chapter 10, verses 12 to 13. Remember when Daniel was in Babylon and Daniel was praying. He was praying to God for a revelation, and Daniel had not received the answer, the revelation as yet. But then the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said in verse 12, do not be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day you set your heart to understand and humble yourself before God, your words were heard. From the very first day you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself, your words were heard. How many times have we prayed to God? And it's as if we're expecting a response right away. And the response doesn't come soon enough. We start to doubt that he's even listening. He's asleep. He's unaware that we are praying, that we are suffering, that we need a revelation. But here the angel says to Daniel, from the very first day, you set your heart to understand and humble yourself. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, 3 weeks. That's not a physical prince. Not a physical prince that was that withstood the angel. It's a spiritual war that's going on. And he says that Michael, one of the chief princes, had to come to help me. For I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia, not physical kings, not physical princes. Here's one that is familiar or even more popular. The situation with Job. Now, Job was a man that, yes, he loved God, he was blameless in all his ways, and he was going about his daily life. He had his children, he had his wealth, he had, everything going on for him. And all of a sudden, there was this conversation in heaven. Have you considered my servant Job? Now, Job is totally unaware of this conversation. Likewise, if we are in that position, have you considered my servant Wayne? Have you considered my servant Clark? Have you considered my Stacy? Have you considered my servant? Right? And then all of a sudden, hell and powder house. Things just start happening to you. You don't know. You start complaining. You start murmuring. Not knowing that there's a spiritual thing that's going on. And God is actually betting on you. He's betting on you to overcome whatever challenge you're going through. Yes, you, Clark, yes. Yeah. He wants you to overcome. There's an argument that, listen, if you touch Clark a certain way, if you strike Clark a certain way, if you take what Clark belonging, then he will curse you to your face and walk away from everything that you would have taught him up to this point. So, brethren, I want to remind us, like I said, it's not something that we're not familiar with, right? It's something that we know. And every time a situation comes up, we have to, and myself included, we have to remind ourselves that maybe there's something higher than what I'm seeing before me. We have to remind ourselves that everything that happens to us or what did not happen for us is a spiritual weapon that can be used against us. Did you catch it? You want me to go again? Yes, there, I'm going to go again. I'm saying everything that happens to us or what did not happen for us is a spiritual weapon that can be used against us. I'll give you a few examples. Moment of weakness. You ever had a moment of weakness? Have you ever had a moment of weakness? All the while, right? All right. Good. Yeah, you're right. Several moments. That's a character flaw. You get into an argument, you say some things you should not have said. You shouldn't say it. But you allow yourself to succumb to the anger and the pressure, and you just blurt out a bad word. Or you tell somebody something that you shouldn't say, right? You should not have said. What about that one flirtatious text with an ex-partner? Hey, no, bother shut up now, No, bother shut up now, Because no, for we know. What about that one text message? Your brother Ricardo? No, man, I don't know of anything. No, man. No, I don't know of any text message. But I've been calling names all along. So why I reached to this though? But it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. You know you're married, or you know you should not be texting as a person a particular way and saying things that you should not have been saying. But it's a moment of weakness, and you're giving to the temptation. What about that little white lie? White? Yeah, man. By the way, parents lie a lot to their kids, Yeah, man. Them lie a lot. I was in the supermarket recently, and I heard a mother was saying to their child that the child, of course, anytime you go to supermarket, the children are going to want things. Them see things, them want it. And the child was there pointing on the thing, Mommy, get that for me, get that for me. And she said, tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Don't tell the pitney tomorrow if tomorrow is not going to come. Don't say it. We do it all the time just because we want the child to be comforted. I need an extension if I can get some assistance. Don't tell any white lies because you want the child to be comforted. And you tell white lies to your spouse as well. You tell white lies to your boss. Don't tell no white lie. There's no such thing as a white lie anyway. No color lie. Just not tell no lie. But it's a moment of weakness, and sometimes you get caught in a position where if you not tell a lie, there's no way to escape. It's going to lead further into more and more things. And so sometimes we don't plan to tell any lie, But the first thing, because we are lied. And the first thing will come off our tongue. The first thing, when we're backed into a certain corner, and you're asked a certain question, and you know you do it when you should not have done it. First thing. And then you think about it afterwards, and you say, I shouldn't tell a lie now. And sometimes, if you're really good, sometimes these people go back to the individual and say, listen, I told a lie, I shouldn't have done it, X, Y, Z. But yeah, man, we do it all the time. We have moments of weakness. Taking things that does not belong to you. You're a thief. Especially now, listen. Especially now, in this December period. I know no work now go on. But people thief the time from them work. And when you call them, you want something from them, you can't get them. Or when them answer the phone, you hear them in the background, pure noise. Because everybody's shopping now. Everybody want to get gifts. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Wait, then I might charge of this.
That's where you're not connected.
Oh, it's the wrong one. The wrong one. Yeah. All right. What about logging on to illicit websites? Silent again. No, not Google. Not Google. But as a matter of fact, Google too, because Google, you go on to get those illicit videos and pictures. Moments of weakness. Moments of weakness we're talking about, man. Giving into sexual immorality, sexual temptation. Moments of weakness. These things can be used against us. These things, as a matter of fact, these are spiritual ambush. When we give in to them, there are little voices in our heads trying to tell us that everything is all right. It's just a small act, right? And guess what? It sounds like our voice, but it's not your voice. It's a voice of the enemy telling you to become comfortable with the slackness that's going on. Sexual temptation, sexual immorality, moments of weakness. And we tell ourselves, like, by the way, all of Jamaica was captivated by two individuals this week, a social media influencer and her. All of Jamaica was captivated. Everybody waiting for 7 o'clock for the video to drop on all these things. Everybody waiting. Eh? You don't know about it? No, all right then. Go do your research, man. All of Jamaica was captivated by it, man. When I go, people go to work and that's what they're watching on their phones. Yes. Oh, is my workplace alone? Oh, yes. But that's what it really boils down to. Sexual immorality. Giving into sexual temptation, lying. What about the season of stress? You ever been through a season of stress before? Like you think it's, yeah, right. But, huh? If I don't? Oh, you don't have any stress? Oh, Some people don't have no stress. But some people don't have any stress, but some people go through a season of it. A season of stress where you just can't catch a break. Yeah, man, some people have those. And guess what? If you're looking at that season by itself, you ignore the spiritual implications. There's actually a spiritual warfare going on behind the scenes that is causing you to feel the way you're feeling. The boss giving you a warm time, humiliating you in front of others in meetings, talking down to you. All of these things are part of the spiritual warfare that's going on. When your husband annoys you, whatever way, or your wife annoys you, and it's ongoing, and you feel like it's a season of stress, it's a part of the spiritual battle that's going on. Not getting the promotion that you interviewed for or the promotion at the workplace. Balancing work life is a part of it as well. It's a part of the spiritual battle. But we think it's normal. Yes. We think it's normal because we are just doing what we're supposed to do. Supposed to go to school, go to work, take care of the family, and so on. The enemy uses those everyday incidents to stress you out for a particular reason. He doesn't want you to succeed. That's a fact. And so when you're in that moment where you start feeling annoyed by everything and everyone around you, you have to step back and realize that, listen, it's not the husband that's the problem. It's not the wife that's the problem. It's a spiritual battle that's going on. Sometimes the husband are the problem. Sometimes the wife are the problem. Just to be balanced, but there's a bigger picture. And the enemy wants you to fail. My encouragement is not to give in to that. Another example, spiritual lethargy. You just get tired. You ever been tired of just doing the right thing? You're tired to do the right thing over and over. What you say? You're tired to read the Bible. Yeah, you just get lackadaisical. You feel like you're stuck, you're not growing anymore. And you think that's a you problem. That's part of the spiritual warfare as well. Somewhere along the line, the enemy wants to whisper in your ear that it's okay to be tired. You've done enough. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel annoyed. And it sounds like your voice. It's not your voice. Don't accept it. It's not your voice. Scripture says we can do all things through Christ, who strengthens us. If God strengthens you, you can do all things. And I can give you some examples of persons who gave in to the temptation of that little voice and how they succumbed. I'm talking about people who would have had spiritual success upon success. You'd never think these people would fail. But they just gave in one time to that little voice. And all of a sudden, everything came crumbling down. Brethren, I couldn't bother sing the song. We'll study war no more. No, man, we have to study war, man. Because the enemy is the chief warmonger. May I tell you, he knows everything about you. He knows everything that you will do, everything that you will say. He knows your likes and dislikes. And he's going to dangle the carrot in front of the donkey to get you to yield. And you need to know that. All of these things. By the way, this feeling of discontentment. You ever feel dissatisfied with life, like what's happening to you? Especially when you see things going on for other people and you wonder, what happened to me so? What happened to me? It may not be in that form, but you just feel some sense of dissatisfaction. You want better. You deserve better. I've been serving God for how many years now? It must can come true for me for something, man. I can't be obeying God and I'm suffering the way that I'm suffering. Discontent. And sometimes it's not even that serious. Sometimes I just, you want a better car, you want a better home, you want a nicer family, you want, yeah. Well, well. Yeah, or you wish your family would be nicer. Not a nicer family, but you wish your family would be nicer. Brethren, all of these things are spiritual ambush. It's not by flesh and blood, it's not by circumstances that you see before you, but by powers that inflict wound but don't leave any visible scars. It is by hands that pull at your peace, want to pull at your peace. These are invisible hands. They twist your thoughts and whisper into your ear in a voice, like I said, sound like your voice. And if you own that voice, if you own the voice as your voice, then you're in trouble. You're in some trouble. So the Apostle Paul reminds us that we face a different kind of enemy, a spiritual one. And he knows how to get us. The question is, are we aware of his attacks? Are we aware of his attacks? Now, you may be aware of some of them. You may not be aware of all of them, right? But he is attacking. And like I said, if you attack the problem or the person who is in front of you, you've already lost the battle because you've turned your attention to something that is not really your enemy or someone who is not really your enemy. Let's look at this analogy. Let's say a friend of yours heard that a group of thugs, they're going to break into your home on the second floor, right? You're not going to wait on the first floor for the thugs to come in. You're going to go to the second floor because that's where you heard they were coming, unless there's a surprise and there's a lie or something like that. But you're going to try your best to be prepared. The problem I have that we do is that we don't prepare ourselves for the enemy's attack. We sometimes lose sight or we get distracted. And we feel as if whatever is happening to us in our daily lives is just part of what should happen. But I don't think many of us wake up with thought on our minds that the enemy is out to get us. The enemy is out to get us today. So I want to take you through, in a few minutes, a few places of attack so that when 2026 comes, we're better. Right? All right. Excited? Yeah. All right, let's go. So the first and primary source of attack is the flesh. Now the Bible makes it very clear that the enemy does not only attack externally, but there's an enemy within. And he leverages the fallen nature of mankind. So in other words, because we have on this flesh, there's very little he needs to do because the flesh is, the nature that we've inherited is one that cooperates with him but not cooperate with the spirit. So let me bring you through a few Bible verses. Stacy, you can turn to Galatians chapter 5. Make sure you write it down. Chapter 5, and I'm reading verses 17, 19, and 21. It says, "For the flesh desires what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit what is contrary to the flesh." And he goes on to say, the Apostle Paul, that the acts of the flesh are obvious. And he names them: sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissensions, factions, and envy, drunkenness, orgies, and the like. Romans 7 verse 18 to 19 says, for Paul is saying there's a struggle within. For I know that good itself does not dwell in me. That is, my flesh. Nothing good dwells in the flesh. For I have desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good that I want, but the evil that I do not want to do, this is what I keep on doing. So the flesh is like autopilot. The flesh is doomed to go contrary to the spirit. And it will cause your downfall if you're living by the flesh. But the Apostle Paul lists some very obvious things, right, that can cause their downfall. But do you know that there's some not so obvious ones? There's some not so obvious. I mean, if anybody takes up the Bible and think the list that the Apostle Paul gave was exhaustive, then you have a rude awakening, because there are things to consider that are not so obvious. Let me ask you, what do you think? That are not so obvious but could cause your spiritual downfall from the flesh. Anybody have any ideas? No? Life? Pain? All right, that's not bad. That's actually very good. Pain. The flesh will do everything to avoid pain, right? And would like to be comforted. So that's what I have here. You're thinking, Shanice. Good job. Good job. What about hunger? Just hunger, generally. Physical hunger. So like Esau, who sold his birthright because he was hungry. So that's what I'm saying. There are things about the flesh that is not so obvious, but the enemy can use it as a device to get you down. Esau was just loneliness. Loneliness. But Esau was just hungry. I mean, you ever had a day where you work so hard that you're coming from work and you're just, what you say, raw, you're hungry. You do anything now to eat some food, you're hungry. Perhaps that's what he was feeling. Whatever he was feeling, whatever type of hunger it was enough to get this man to sell his birthright. And a lot of us can look at Esau and criticize and chastise Esau, but you don't know what he was feeling. It's probably a level of hunger he has never felt before. How long have you ever fasted? What's the longest time anyone has ever fasted? 31 hours. Just atonement. 48. Any longer than 48? 7 days. What kind of fast that? No food, no water? You serious? Okay, well. After I agree, because I've done the 48 hours. After day 2, you don't really feel it as much. Oh, really? Yeah, man. Yeah. Trust me. After day 2, your body just adapts. The body is amazing. You may cost the flesh now and I talk about the body good. Crazy. So, Hebrews 12:16-17 says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person like Esau, who for a morsel of food sold his birthright. For you know afterward, when he wanted to inherit the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place for repentance, though he sought it diligently with tears. It was too late for him. And he said, Bridget, that's why we have to keep the flesh in check, you know. Because sometimes we do some things you cannot undo the damage. You have to keep it in check. Shani says comfort. The body wants comfort. We have examples upon examples of the period of Judges. When the Israelites experience a period of comfort, what do? They reject God and turn to pagan practices. Every time the Israelites experience a period of peace, that is exactly what they do. Because comfort is not such a bad thing. I mean, nobody's going to complain about having the AC on at night in a nice, comfortable bed. No, man. I'm talking about you when you're at home. Right? The body wants comfort. And sometimes the enemy will use that. He will take away that comfort and cause you. Or he may even give you comfort.
Yes,
It gives you comfort and allow you to drop your guard. You think everything is all right, and then him just sneak in a little pagan practice them now. That's what he does. We must watch out for the acts of the flesh, whether it be good or bad. The Apostle Paul gave some very obvious ones, but there are some not so obvious ones that we have to pay attention to as well. Now, here's the thing with the flesh. With the flesh, there are specific gateways to the flesh. And these gateways, the enemy turns them into an access point for temptation, deception, and sin. When I say gateway to the flesh, one example that comes to mind. Your eyes, your mind. What else? Huh? Desire. All right. I know where you're going. Yeah. And you're absolutely correct. So you know. So we know. You see, we know, you know. It's not that we don't know. But we allow these gateways to be open so freely. And we use we allow the enemy to come in anytime he wants. We allow it. So I'll give you 4 gateways, and some of them were mentioned already. The first one is the eyes. Scripture says the eyes are never tired of seeing. Never tired of seeing. Now the eyes are the entry point through which temptation is conceived. And the enemy understands that what the eyes capture often captures the heart. You ever see things and want them? Eh? Because you're ready eye. Ever hear them say that yet? You're ready eye. Because you see me have it. You want it. And if me never have it, you wouldn't want it. But the eyes are the gateway of entry point for the enemy to use. The eyes just don't see. The eyes send a signal to the brain. And what the brain does is it does a comparison for you. So it's an entry point. I see, then sends a message to the brain, and the brain starts to do rationalizing. The brain starts to do comparisons, and the brain starts to covet. And then that's where you get discontentment too. So because Brother Orion now drive a particular car, and I see it, and him car always look like it just wash. Right? I feel a way, I want it too, I want that kind of, and him always have some fancy suit every single week. I don't know where him get him suit them from. Sharp. Right? So me envy him. No, I think, no man, theoretically. Theoretically. But that's what happens. And then we have so much to see around us, so many different varieties and things like that. And we don't have everything. So when we see somebody with a fancy new toy or, something that makes them happy, it's very easy for us to fall in the trap of wanting to have the same thing as well. What the eyes linger on, the heart will want eventually. So it's one that's why I don't look on Orion too long, Because if you look on his suit too long, I'm going to ask him now where him tailor be and all these things. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. David. We all know the story of David. It's a very famous story. And it's a man after God's own heart. Not David and Goliath, the other one. Not the other one. No, not that one either. But the one with, we're talking about the eyes, man. People focus. We're talking about the eyes. No, not the lion. Bathsheba, man. Bathsheba. We know the story in 2 Samuel 11. And I'm going to read it for those who are probably not so familiar with it online or in the audience. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. It happened in the spring of the year, at the time when kings go out to battle.
War.
What happened? What you say?
Go to war.
Kings, all right, go to war.
Yes.
The kings go out to war. But David presented a sick leave because he did not want to go to war today. For whatever reason, I don't know. But David happens to be on a roof and him look over and him see one nice thing, yeah? And she naked, she a bathe, and the water touch her body in a particular way, and him just want her. He want her. So that's what the eyes do, you know. But it doesn't stop there. Because David goes as far as to inquire about her now. So remember what I said, you know. What the eyes linger on, the heart will eventually desire. So you don't know how long in bed I stare upon her, you know, must stare. And trust me, David not see nobody beautiful like this lady. Nobody in all of Israel as beautiful as her. And he sent his servants to go and inquire. And when they inquired about this woman, he was told, it's not that he never knew. He was told that this is such and such daughter, and she married to Uriah the Hittite. Right? Him could have leave it at that. Don't? Oh, she married. Okay, all right, cool. Me wait till her husband dead. I mean, that's one way. If him really desire, him could have said, me wait till, me know her husband, they are battle right now. There's a likelihood that he will not come back. So I'll just wait until he dies. And then no more go in, right? He could have done that. But then, one thing with the eyes, you know, you see when it looks at something and it starts to desire it, it wants it now. It wants it right now. I can't wait, I need it now. And then he acted. And you know the story. Him get the lady pregnant and then tried to get her husband to sleep with her, and he didn't. So, because the man was such a righteous man, he allowed him to be slaughtered in battle. Him caused it. His war strategy. We talk about war? That's his war strategy, you know. To go closer to the wall where they might fire the arrow and then pull back just so the man can dead. That was his war strategy. And then when he heard that the man was dead, he waited until Bathsheba's moment of grieving done. So he could have waited. Because he waited until the grieving stopped. Then him go marry her. Right? So he could have waited. But that's what the eyes does. That's what the eyes does. You look on something, you linger long enough on it, then eventually you start to inquire and then you act on it. The heart starts to desire it. One unguarded glance opened the door for adultery, deception, and murder. One glance. So we have to be mindful of the eyes, the gateway. The next thing now is the mouth. Now you don't see the mouth as a gateway, really, but a gatekeeper. And you see the mouth, the enemy uses the mouth as a weapon to produce gossip, bitterness, murmuring, division, complain. Anybody in here love to complain? Or know somebody will love complain? Oh no, not to that. But you no love complain. You don't know somebody will love complain. Okay. Think no easy. You don't know somebody will complain, but you no complain. But the mouth is used, the enemy uses the mouth to produce gossip. Uses the ears to hear the gossip and then use the mouth to spread it. Jesus said in Matthew 11:17-18, it is what comes out of the man defiles him. Why? Because it comes from the heart. What you say is not what you put into your mouth defiles, it's what comes out of your mouth because it flows from your heart. That is what defiles a man. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. You know you love chat? You know somebody will love chat? Yes. You love chat? Yes. Oh. And the people that will love chat sometimes, them don't know what for chat say. And sometimes them chat and say the wrong things. Right? But it's one of those access points that the enemy uses to get you again to say something that you should not have said. Or to cause harm to somebody, to spread gossip, to spread lies about people. The mouth is one of those access points. I'll give you an example. In Numbers 22, verses 2 to 6. We know the story of Balaam and Balak, right? Yes. All right. Now, it says here in verse 6, Numbers 22, verse 6. Therefore, please come out. This is now Balak, who was the king of Moab at the time, requesting Balaam to come to where they are, the Midianites, and to pronounce a curse on the Israelites. So he wanted them to wanted Balak to pronounce a curse on the Israelites. And he says here, he says, come at once, curse these people for me, for they are too mighty, and perhaps I shall be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and who you curse is cursed. When am I using to curse? Mouth. And thanks be to God, every time that man open his mouth, it's just pure blessing coming out. Blessing, blessing, blessing. 3 times he tried to curse the people, but because of God. And it's not easy, you know. You see? This is another thing that we sometimes do, and we rationalize sin. Right? Because God clearly instructed him not to go the first time. But because of his greed and because of his love of money, he couldn't resist. So he find a way to go, right? And when he saw that the curse is not coming out and just pure blessing, what did he do? He said, make the people curse themselves. There's a way to do it. Just send some woman in a camp. Them have no self-control. Send some woman in a camp and make them commit sexual immorality. And that's how we'll get them. Because I can't curse these people because they're blessed. Send some woman in the camp and they will curse themselves by their actions. Again, I will used to give that advice there. A mouth. Same mouth. So I can't curse you, but I can come up with a strategy and tell you so that you can get the people to curse themselves. So the enemy uses the mouth to encourage murmuring, spread lies, complain, and to utter self-defeating declarations. There's some things that we say, we already kill ourselves, you know. There's some things when you say it and you start to repeat it to yourself over and over and over, you're dead in the trap. There's nothing else God can do now because you don't believe. You keep uttering doubts. This will happen, this won't happen, this can't happen, and whatever thing, you start to believe it. And then God can do nothing for you. Mouth. So it cancels faith, and then it invites judgment with the things that we say. Constantly complaining, constantly murmuring, constantly doubting. The third thing, so we talk about the eyes, we talk about the mouth, and now we're going to talk about the heart. The heart is not merely for emotions or symbol of emotions, but it is a seat of will, affection, and loyalty. The heart is like an incubator. It nurtures desires. So whatever you look at sends a message to the brain, and you start to think about it. It gets downloaded in the heart, and then it nurtures whatever is in your heart. Just like Judas. But you know Judas. Who was Judas? You know Judas for one thing, right? You know him for betraying Christ. But he was also a thief. You remember? Nobody remembers that. He was a thief. He didn't just betray Christ. He was a thief. And it's because of him thievery why he betrayed Christ. Greed. Because he wanted more money. John 12, 1 to 6 showed us that Judas nurtured greed in his heart. It's something that he did constantly. And so the heart nurtured it. And it resulted in further actions. It says, then 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of those who sat at the table with him. Then Mary took a profound and very costly oil and anointed Jesus' feet, and she wiped it with her hair. And the house was full of fragrance. It was so powerful. But one of his disciples, Judas, Simon's son, who betrayed him. By the way, John, very petty, you know. John, I'm making you know, right? Not you, John. No, sorry, not you, John. John wanted to be known very clear that this is the same disciple, Judas Iscariot. And just in case there are many Judas Iscariots, it's the son of Simon. And just in case there are many sons of Simon who named Judas Iscariot, the one who betrayed Jesus. Make it very clear. You can't laugh. You must know who know. He said, why was this fragrant oil not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor? Verse 6 says, it seemed concerned, right? But John wants to make it known, as he has been doing so far, make it know who Judas was. He said this not because he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief. And he had the money box. And every dollar was going in the money box. He put a portion and he take a tithe. He take a tithe. I don't know if a tithe is true, but he feel like he was entitled to a portion of it. He was a thief. And because of what he nurtured in his heart, Satan was able to enter him. Right? And you know the story now, what he's famous for, the betrayal. And they promised him some money if he was able to turn Jesus in. And that's what he did to get the money. Because of what was nurtured in his heart over time. Brethren, we have to be careful what we keep in our heart sometimes. You know. May I tell you the truth? And you must constantly examine your heart. Because from your heart flows the actions, the decisions that you make. We have to constantly examine our hearts. Jeremiah 17 verse 9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things. So sometimes you feel like this is the right thing to do. You have to question your motive. Why do I feel this way? The heart is deceitful unless you don't believe it. And you are deceiving yourself if you don't. And desperately wicked, who can know it? It's a gateway that we must guard, our hearts. And the last thing I'll share with respect to the access point is the mind. This is now where the enemy plants doubts, fears, false reasoning. And your unchecked thoughts shape your reality. A man who is what he thinks all the time. You have to consider what your thoughts are, what you harbor in your thoughts. Because what you harbor in your thoughts come out again through your actions. So if you think you're unworthy, if you think you're worthless, if you think you're undeserving, That is what is going to play out. And again, like I said, the voice sounds like your voice. The voice sounds like your voice. But what the voice is doing is looking at your track record and saying, look at what has happened up to this point. Do you see anything working out for you? Do you see God coming through for you? Do you see your prayers being answered? And it sounds like your voice. But then, you have to stop and ask yourself, why do I believe this, what I believe? Why do I hold this in my thought? Every delay, every silence, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer becomes a fertile ground for the enemy to use against you. So a lot of us, we're praying, we're diligent, we don't see God coming through in whatever way we want. Yes, now is the time for the enemy to come in and whisper lies. And he gets you to stop praying first. And you think you're just having a season of just not praying. Oh, it's just a season. But somewhere along the line, you accepted that God has not been answering my prayers for a while now. My prayers have not been effective. And so, me I go put it on pause. Somewhere along the line, you accepted it. And you start to believe that God doesn't care. You start to believe that your prayers are pointless. And you start to believe that if God loved you, this wouldn't be happening. A loving God? Love me? Why is this happening to me? And it has been Satan's strategy from the beginning to get you to question things in your mind and to hold certain thoughts. It's the same thing he did in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 3, 1-5. Did God really say you are not to eat from all the trees? Oh yeah, we can eat from all the trees, just not that one. Oh, so it's because him knows, say, if you eat of it, you're going to become like him, and him don't want that. And you start reasoning it in your mind. You say, wait, but if I eat of the fruit, then I don't have to listen to God. I'll be God. Yeah. I don't have to listen to him. And that's what led to the action. It sounded like her voice, but it was the voice of a serpent. I'll give you a final example in this scenario. Elijah. We all know the prophet Elijah, a very powerful man. Powerful man. Elijah alone took on 450 prophets by himself. Elijah alone caused rain not to fall or caused it to not rain for 3 years. Elijah alone. 3.5 years. Elijah was the one who called down fire from heaven to burn up the offering, an offering that was drenched with water. Elijah, a very powerful man, a man that God deaf. There's no doubt that God was using that man. And immediately after the victory, immediately after he was successful in his spiritual warfare, in his spiritual battle, he ran away. Why? It's not necessarily because of the threat only, you know. Elijah bought the idea that it was him alone. I am the one that is left. I am the only one that's left. All your prophets have been killed. I am the only one standing. And he bought the idea. This is a man called on fire. It's a man who stopped rain and called rain. Immediately after those victories, a voice said to him, you're the only one that's left. You're the only one fighting for God. And he bought it. And even before, when Obadiah met up with Elijah, what did Obadiah say to Elijah? I have hidden 100 prophets. So at the very least, Elijah could have said, well, it's not me alone. Show me the 100 prophets there. So probably I could go to them and inspire them, encourage them, and let's take on this battle together. Elijah heard that Jezebel wanted his life, and him all of a sudden he feel like he's the only one left, and he ran away. Was that voice his voice? Sounded like his voice. And God had to tell him, say, listen, besides the 100 that's hidden, I have reserved 7,000 people who have never bowed, not once to Baal. I have reserved 7,000 people. But if you buy the lie that is you alone, then you're going to be defeated. It's a powerful man. But the mind rehearses lies instead of truth. And even the strongest believer can run away from battles they were once winning. That's the scary part, you know. Human beings are so fragile. You can be winning battles left, right, and center. Overcoming spiritually left, right, and center. And you think you're safe. It just takes one thing, one voice to throw you off totally and for you to doubt God. Not one of us in this room is as powerful as Elijah was. Then if that can happen to Elijah, imagine we pew people. Imagine us. Thank God for the Spirit. Thank God for His Spirit. But even so, if that can happen to Elijah, what say us? What say us? And let me conclude now some final scriptures. Yeah, how this a move so? Ephesians 6. We're ending as we began. In Ephesians chapter 6, verses 13 to 18. Because the Apostle Paul tells us what we must do if we're going to withstand the spiritual warfare or the spiritual battles. We must therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, not lies, truth. Having put on the breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness, brethren, not sin, not lukewarmness. Having shod your feet with preparation of the gospel of peace, above all taking the shield of faith with you, so that you may be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked one, and the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication, in the Spirit, being watchful. I gave you 4 gateways. I never said the list was exhaustive. There are more. But you have to be watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints. Romans 12 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. It's a process. The enemy wants our minds too, but we have to be transformed continuously, daily, renewing our minds. Renewing our minds. And then a lot of us, we've accepted a lot of lies already. So there's some work to be done in terms of renewing what we harbor in our thoughts. Philippians 4:8. Whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, which is of good report. If there's any virtue at all, meditate, think on these things. With respect to the eyes, we have to look to Christ. It's not like we don't have an example. We have the example. Christ is our ultimate example. And sometimes when we find ourselves in certain situations, you have to ask yourself, what did Christ do? What would Christ do? How would Christ handle the situation? Stop trying to take it on by yourself. Because there's nothing good in man. Hebrews 12:2 says, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that has been set before him endured the cross. He didn't endure a peaceful life. The man endured the cross. And you know, cross come with a lot of crosses. Despising the shame, and he sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. And then sometimes you have to think about the end goal. Think about the end. Why am I doing this? What is the ultimate goal? What does God have in store for me? Is it worth it? And I would answer a resounding yes. It's absolutely worth it. To give up this life. The man who loves his life will lose it. But he who loses his life for my sake will find it. This is not life, you know. This is not life. We know the life that is coming, and that's the one that we strive for and aim for. Job says, I've made a covenant with my eyes. Going into 2026, someone will need to make some covenant with our eyes. That we're not going to look at certain things. We're not going to see people and have ready eye and bad mind them because they might drive nice car. We don't care. We're happy for you. We're happy. But we don't care to want the things just because you have them. If God will bless me with them, then fine, I'm grateful. But don't go around bad mind people. And as I always say, you don't know what them people sacrifice to get what them have. And some of those sacrifices you're not willing to do. So you have no right to bad mind anybody. Like say you're one. I like Sister Millie. No, yeah, screw your face like. Don't bad mind. Not leave bad mind in 2025. Don't bad mind people for the things that them have. Right, Ricardo? Yes, man. Don't bad mind anybody. Make a covenant with your eyes, man. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart. Someone we fling with heart. We deal with heart a little way. We give everybody with heart if them start with some nice things. People come and express, kind words, and all of a sudden we love them. Yeah, man, them kind with some intention behind it, man. Yeah, man, don't go around give everybody a heart. Don't go around being a listening ear to everybody. Don't go around opening up your ears to everybody. Sometimes you must move on, man. Don't listen to them. And sometimes people want to lay them burden on you too. Yes, man. Be wise. Because sometimes when you listen to these people's burdens, and then you see them lifestyle, you understand why them burdened the way them burdened, It's because you're not a good person. And you got burden me now if you feel sorry for you. You're not a good person. I lie not? No, man, be a good person, man. Be a good person. And if things are happening to you for real because you're a good person, you don't really deserve this, you're doing, you're crossing your T's and you're dotting your I, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Then you can come talking at my ears now and tell me everything and, me turn around and give my heart. But if you're not a good person, man, and you cause on the crosses for your life, man, keep it to yourself.
Really?
Yes, man. It's you cause it. It's you cause it. Don't make me feel sorry for you now because you cause it. And then people have been talking to you over and over and over. You refuse to do this, to take the advice. You refuse to take the advice. You keep doing the same things over and over. Don't tell nobody a problem then. Because it seems as if you just want to talk. You just want to talk. No, man, I don't have time, man. Give somebody my ears who is worthy. Somebody who really suffering. Who doing the right things, but them find themselves in a terrible situation. Guard your heart, man. Don't listen to anybody. Want to come tell you them problems. And you just give them your heart. And if you're single and you're dating to get married and so on, listen, man, examine everybody we talk to you. Because all of we are liars. Yes, man. Is that pastor?
Everybody's a liar.
The thing is, we deceive ourselves and we buy an image that we think we think we are, but we really aren't. And it's not until you come under certain pressures and certain circumstances, your dirty colors them show, man. So don't just hear everything and just accept it. Question it, put it through the test. "2026 is not a year to play. If you have forgotten that we're in a spiritual warfare, a spiritual battle, make sure when 2026 comes, you pull up your socks, you put on your armor, you draw your sword, you put on your helmet, everything, and get ready for war. Study war some more." Yes. That's what the song should say. I'm going to study war some more. Yes, so you can overcome. I'm going to study war some more. Make sure that change the lyrics, Yeah, I'm going to study war some more. Brethren, 2026, let us put away acts of the flesh. Let us kill the flesh. Let us put away fornication. Let us put away adultery. Let's put away sexual immorality. Let us put away complaining. Let us put away gossiping, slandering one another. Let's put away worrying. Let's put away unforgiveness, backbiting. Let's put away strife. Let's put away addictions. Let's put away denying the power of God. 2026 is going to be a better year than 2025. Don't just be focusing on finances. Don't just be focusing on educational upliftments and so on. Make your spiritual life a priority in 2026. Make your spiritual growth a priority in 2026. Let us be on guard against the enemy's attack. Crucify the flesh so that we can stand firm in the assurance of God's salvation. So that when he comes, it pleases him to say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." God bless you.